That heifer right there just don't even care.
Save yourself now.
What do you say, folks?
Hey, everybody.
Hope everybody's having a good evening this evening. Most of you probably get rained on, or had been getting rained on about now.
It's been raining all day here. Well, I say all day. It started about 11:30 this morning. Or 11.
Well, like some of y'all going to be getting a little bit more snow too, probably,
Yeah.
according to them folks that try to predict that weather.
They
What-
can't predict the weather, y'all. They just guess at it and get paid a lot for it.
I was just thinking, good thing they ain't fortune tellers. I mean, my word, you talk about being a bound.
I ain't touching that. I'm not touching that.
But how many we got? We got 20 in here so far. Awesome, y'all. Appreciate everybody coming in. And
I can't believe we had people choose us over Taylor Swift tonight.
well, this
The
way I
whole
was looking at.
world is talking about Taylor Swift.
She's gonna get a ring. Some of y'all
Yeah.
get that. Some of you get that. Okay, that's all we're gonna talk about. That gal and her
Yeah,
shenanigans.
let's move on.
We got B stuff to talk about.
I wish we had these stuff to talk about. It rained all weekend, so again, we couldn't get in the bees.
Now the closest thing we've done is throw a little bit of feed to them, see if they'll take it, and they have gobbled down that pollen sub mix, the honey and Apis biologic stuff, and went and put a good heavy batch back on them Thursday evening. But yesterday, I think I was talking to maybe Ed on the phone, son of one.
You were on live with me last night.
Mm-hmm. But out there in the yard, got down there and got to raking leaves, and we're raking leaves down there by the bees, trying to clean up around them. I ain't realized how much daggum leaf litter done fell between fall and now. My goodness, I got halfway through it and got to going. I wish I hadn't started this project.
Sorry, I'm trying
You
to
okay?
say hey to everybody.
It's fine.
My brain is not functioning at full capacity tonight, y'all, so there's a very real chance I'm gonna miss some of the comments.
Well, let's see. Let's shout out everybody right fast.
I was trying to read that last comment
My
somebody
fault.
put.
Let's see who was it. Who was shouting? Shannon. Okay.
Oh, that's even better, Shannon. That's awesome.
They was bring about 2 weeks ago, buddy. I'm talking about bringing it in by their little dump truck loads. And I
They
guess
was all wearing big bird warmers.
yes, they were very pretty. I got one in there that I picked up off the ground. She did, but buddy, her little pollen sacs were just like
Loaded down.
seemed like they was big as her. But they
I hadn't seen DC recently in the comments. He probably had to go feed his dog.
But-
Pop back in.
DC got in here first. Grayson was a close runner up there in second this evening. Our good brother there, Keith Spillman. Tom, appreciate you. Russell, Eamon, thank you, brother. Ed, James, Noel, appreciate you, brothers, being in here. And let's see. DNA Apiary, Dan.
DNN.
DNN.
Get it right.
I should read my words. My apologies, brother.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
David.
Michael, I missed you in the comments. Let me say hey.
Michael Tangway.
Mm-hmm.
Shannon Line. Yeah, Stone River. Sarah's Happy Hive.
Lee's in here. I told them.
Hallelujah Bee Farm. Who else? Who else are we missing here? All right. Tar Hill. Flip.
Oh, hey, Randy. I missed you coming in too.
Square Bee
Oh,
Honeycomb.
welcome
Appreciate
back, y'all.
Yep.
Icy Mountain Honey. Now, Icy Mountain, your name is Sandy, right? I think I remember that right.
We really should write all these
I
down.
know.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, there's Bob
Let's see, Bob.
and Dennis Barney. Oh, hey, Danae. I missed you coming in too.
Brian. Flower Street.
Yeah, I missed him too. There's Mr. Mark.
All right. Good. Clark's Bees and such. That's a new name in
Hey.
here. Appreciate you. Here, let's get your name up there.
Welcome in.
So folks know who you are. There we go. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody. The new ones coming
That's
in.
right, Sarah. Okay, good deal. I got one thing right today.
Got it right?
Yeah. Her name is Sandy.
Oh.
Okay.
Good
deal.
What else have we done?
Work.
That's about it, yes.
With work.
Then,
Y'all, I know everybody here works for a living, so y'all will get this. It was a brutal week at work. We were fighting a ceramic tile walk-in shower all week is what we were building. And then yesterday, we worked a little bit, and then we worked our butts off trying to get caught up at home a good bit because we had to go sit with my grandma again today. Oh my gosh, Sandy,
Thank you, Ashley.
thank you. We appreciate that. But literally, y'all, we were going from like 5:30 yesterday morning till I think I finally went to head to the grocery store just after 4 to go get stuff to put on for supper. And I'm not being ugly. The little girl that works up there is really sweet. I mean, she's maybe 17 or so. And she was, I asked her, how you doing this evening? Just, talking like you do to people in small towns. Hey, Joey. And y'all, she was crying because she had to work a 6-hour shift scanning groceries. And all I could do was shake my head. I was like, welcome to adulthood, darling. It ain't getting no better.
the one
at all.
time that I don't go to the grocery store, the one, I know we could probably count on both hands how many times we have separated in the last 15 years.
Almost, yeah.
And
He he did outside while I did inside all day yesterday. And I was just thinking, baby, you come to work one day with us and you'll be begging for that 6-hour shift at the grocery store.
It would.
But then I had to catch myself. I was like, gosh, Hannah, you are getting old. When you're thinking like that, you are getting old.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the labor intensive part. Her poor little old feelings would be hurt about the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. John Lawler. That's another new name.
Well,
For me, anyway.
Awesome.
Welcome in.
Appreciate everybody.
I didn't pull that card, Lee. I don't have quite that many gray hairs, but it's getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in my day, let me tell you, we can't use the snow down here as far as uphill both ways, but
I got a good laugh at myself, just catching myself, Hannah. You're acting like an old person now.
it was a bless your heart kind of moment. That's for sure.
Y'all, it really was a true Southern bless your heart.
Yeah.
Sarah said I never got 6-hour shifts when I was a cashier. I know. And I worked at the same grocery store. I started working there when I was 16. DC, I know I'm still young. That's why I kicked myself so hard for thinking like that. It's like you're getting that old people mentality.
Well, and two, about a week prior, well, no, I say a few days ago, we was on the Book of Faces, and let me say on that, y'all, if y'all send us a friend,
it's a Piggly Wiggly.
it is a Piggly Wiggly, yep.
It is.
If y'all send us a friend request or something like that on Facebook, and we don't answer for sometimes 3, 4, 5 days a week, or even more.
Don't get on Facebook any kind of regular.
No, we don't. It's not that we're ignoring y'all, anything like that. We just, we y'all know how it can be a lot of times on that kind of thing. I'm very much for being able to everybody have your opinion and being able to voice your opinion. I'm not much on
drama.
Yeah, and all that.
The drama.
Well, one thing that stopped me on that platform a lot was we had shared a thing with Sam Elliott, and he was going through, what was it, Constitution or something like that. He was reading off, and it was a big deal for our country as far as what he was doing. And we shared it, and it was an hour or two later, it popped up that, this was inappropriate material. And I'm like, dude, what? Our country's flag is inappropriate material? So that pretty well kind of pushed this one away from that social media platform for us being in there quite often. But it's not that we ignored y'all at all.
No, we don't mean to, for real.
But backing up on that, she was going back to the little girl at the store. A friend of ours, his son, recently graduated high school and all that, and they had a tough time in school. I just put it like that. And being out into the world has been a little bit of a challenge for him, I reckon. And he had put something along basically the same lines of, since I've graduated high school, where do you find time for friends and going and hanging out, because I'm working 12 hours a day, in which this young man is, and all that. And I told him, I said, son, that's over with, bud. Welcome to adulthood. All the hanging out and going to see your buddies and stuff anymore, that's pretty well out the door.
They don't tell you that when you're growing up and you're so looking forward to adulthood because you think it means total freedom. That's a lie. That's a really big lie. Like Sandy was saying, or no, where was it? She said when I started working, wages were $1.15 an hour. And then Russell said his first was $1 an hour.
Well, mercy, I thought mine was bad. I think it was, I guess, the first real paying job I'd gotten as a teenager was about 13, 14. And it was $3.50 an hour loading hay bales. And even then, I was thinking, well, hey, $3.50 an hour, I'm making a little bit of money here. But I don't know, it was about 2 summers of slinging hay bales, and I got to find me something different.
Ed said he made 75 cents a bushel picking peaches at 13.
Mm-hmm.
People would just turn their nose up at having to work now, no matter what the pay is. Nobody wants to work anymore.
Oh, you're right. That's it. It's easier to get a check sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
But
a whole lot easier.
As brothers and sisters in here, we all can go back to scripture on things, and they got older and started figuring out on that end. It is told in scripture that a man that don't work don't eat. I like to eat, So I got to work.
What was the story? Somebody made it in a prayer. But maybe on the TV show we watched or something. But prayed in his prayer, blessing the food that, Lord, you say if a man won't work, he won't eat. But Lord, these victuals was a little harder to come by on this one.
Yeah.
Boy, Sarah said she's going to get a couple inches of snow tomorrow. We're running the air conditioner right now because it's 76 degrees outside.
So we got home a while ago, and this first thing she done went in here and pump the air conditioner.
It was 76 in the house when we got home. I was like, I can't do this.
Max saying, or Tom saying 98 cents
Was minimum wage when he started. Oh, and that wood mill was some work, Michael. He got $1.35 at the wood mill.
Ooh, son, yes, sir. You talk about, you earn that dollar.
Hands down, I will show you respect. I've never worked a wood mill, but I've picked up enough limbs and boards in my life to have a healthy respect for people that lift that constantly.
Oh, I broke her in on that lumber. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Don't carry one. Bring 5.
I can too.
She can. She works her tail off for me. Good.
Tom was talking about his girls bringing in real pollen too.
We started. It seems like everybody's kind of starting to see a little bit of a sign.
Coming, y'all.
It is down here. We got. Is out in the field, the little red nettle, but they look more purple to us. Or the henbit. They up at Hannah's grandma's, buddy, in the orchard. Them jokers. That orchard is full of nettle. We've seen. I don't know. There's just a few starting to show themselves, but the crimson clover, there was a few of them almost in full bloom, but there's a 10-acre field of that out there, and those like that wild onion starting to bloom. I don't know if they pollinate or get any nectar off that little old wild onion or not, but they are a pretty little flower. It comes up on them little rascals.
Yeah, Dennis said his are bringing pollen into Dennis Thorne. I can't read this comment.
Let's see. Now you know why I'm a, what is that, skin flint beekeeper?
Oh no, Mike. Their maples started to bloom and then froze. That's no good.
But once again, like Ed and Granny out there, well, they're
up there.
east of us. Yeah. East of us over there, they're maples, and others y'all talking about, y'all seeing the tassels on them, and they're pretty well in full bloom.
Nothing yet.
Not a thing. But the tie with the correct spelling, they're fixing to cut loose around here at the house.
Okay.
And
Michael said my bees are plowing snow.
yeah. Maybe a little more if you're gonna get some more of that backside of this rain fixing to pass through here. What else we see out there? Our red honeysuckle.
Yeah.
They're fixing to go to putting off probably in the next week and a half, I imagine. As long as it don't freeze again.
Shannon, that is awesome. So her first winter with bees went in with 6 and come out with 6 that are laying up frames of brood.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Absolutely. That's an accomplishment.
First year?
Did you get Ed's picture of the maple?
I think The one you sent me, the up close of the fuzzy one, they look fuzzy, yeah. I mean, the picture don't look fuzzy, but it kind of looks like a bottle brush, the best way now I can explain it. But yeah, I'd gotten one of them from you yesterday.
Did you see DC's comment?
Mm-mm.
He said at one time, well, layman on the construction crew, I moved every stick of wood in a 3,000 square foot house at least twice. And then he started to add up the amount of wood he carried, and it started to depress him, so he stopped.
Hey, I don't blame you, brother. I sat down one day. I was doing stucco work for about 3 or 4 years, and I was the mud man. That was my job, mixing all that blasted mud for them fellas to put that cement on that wall. But on average, I figured throughout the day, I was lifting over 2,000 pounds a day between mortar mix, and 15 scoops of sand per batch. So, yes, sir, you think about good. No wonder I'm so doggone wore out and tired at the end of the day. But grateful for every bit of it. It sure helped take care of things. He comes in. Kenneth, appreciate you, brother, coming in. See you quite a bit in Sarah's chat.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it
what
is.
I was thinking. I knew I'd seen your name somewhere. Yep, there's one of your Texican friends.
Hey, one, yeah. What you say there, Texican, our good brother Blaine out there. Here's some food for thought before we get into. I went through and got a couple topics to get on in the Bee Journal this evening. The next week, everything continues to work out. We'll have a special guest and a guest. So it'll be, well, 2 guests at one time. Next week, Lord willing. But here's some food for thought. Well, tell me your answer. And a yes or no. I asked Hannah this a second ago. In the Bee Journal, somebody had written an article on their, how do we say the word? It just ended up being a theory, possibly.
Hypothesis.
A hypothesis on queens. Now we know the typical way it goes. The bees will make a queen cell, get it full of that royal jelly there, have the egg in at the same time, then, you know, at the end of it, you'll have a nice, beautiful queen to hatch. But somebody's hypothesis, and I'll read it, it ain't a long paragraph at all, but this is where I want y'all's answer on it. Do you think, this was their hypothesis, do you think in one single cell, if a queen lays a worker egg and a drone egg in that single cell, all right, you have 2 eggs, a worker and a drone, they come together, and after the process of metamorphosis, it comes out a mated queen, and go. Yes or no?
Moving on.
I mean, this was written in 1894, I think it was. Somebody's hypothesis.
Yeah. I don't know that I agree with that.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. You may prove me wrong, but I don't agree with that.
Keith Spillman said,
yeah, Flip said no, Clark said no, Sandy said no, which is why I told you, don't even say that crap on a live stream, because it makes absolutely no sense. Yeah, you were getting a resounding no.
So y'all telling me no?
No doo-doo dum-dum.
I'll read y'all the little. Let me do.
Yeah, DC said, I think they smoked some good green or something. I think it was worse than that, DC.
Let's see if I can find it here real quick. We ain't gonna get in.
Look, everybody is telling you no.
No. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
shouldn't
Joey,
believe.
Larry Candy, DC, Michael Tangway. You need to get off of that one, Buttons.
Hold on, I got it right here, I think. Okay, yeah. The heading of the article is Stella Post.
Tom said the cell would be a super cell.
So everybody.
See if they had woke back then.
Oh, man.
That's a good theory, DC.
It's just a small little piece, but I'll read y'all the deal. But it said the heading is a bad mess. When papers other than bee papers attempt to say anything about bees, they generally make a mess of it.
So this was not written by a beekeeper. This was written by a moron.
Well, apparently this is a beekeeper calling out a moron. And all right, said anything about bees, they generally make a mess of it. A pseudo-religion paper attempting a comparison says the fact that the two larvae, the drone and the worker bee, placed together in the queen cell, I left that out, sorry y'all, queen cell, was so blend as to develop an impregnated queen bee, etc., then the dude's words pretty much in quotations saying the advanced science is there for you. I guess he's just trying to be nice and not saying, look, dummy.
DC said, oh, okay, a beekeeper calling someone an idiot. I can understand that.
Yeah. Well, it's saying that apparently somebody outside, would just say the bee journal, how everybody goes to and gives their own opinion on, how they're doing things.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently you had the, what's the magazine? The Inquirer.
Yeah, I didn't read that.
Okay. So if you have the Inquirer trying to tell people how to beekeep, this is the kind of mess you would get. Some clown talking about, look, if there's a queen cell and a boy gets in there and a girl gets in there, it's a mated queen when it comes out.
That's another one of them, bless your little old heart.
It is. But I just thought some of y'all might get a good kick out of that for the moment.
Oh, man.
I'm thinking of it.
Sandy said someone watching too much science fiction. Yeah, I agree, Blaine.
I believe in the National
That
Fire.
only works with mites.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good one, Tom. Pretty good one. Yes, sir. Now I am working on. Has the other Texican been in here yet? Is he watching that?
Hey, Philip.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him. He may. I don't know if he does pro ball or not. He may be watching the big game tonight.
Well, the other half is in here then. Seen Brian from Flower Street. So Philip has taken buttons and turned it into snot tub. All right. Brian has taken, or he said the other night, tech tips with Tim.
Oh, that's a bad idea.
So
That's a really bad idea.
I'm working on snot tubs, giving tech tips. I've got to order a few things. I couldn't find it the other day at the local stores, and I don't know why they wouldn't carry these. But Hannah just shook her head and she's like, please don't do this on a live and go through all this. But
DC Philip, I think it was live when Sarah was on with us. And we were talking about people spelling our names wrong. Well, Philip looked down at the screen and he's like, well, Hannah spelled backwards is Hannah, but Buttons spelled backwards is Snot Tub. So I've been calling him Snot Tub ever since then.
She has. She has just rubbed that in like salt in a wound.
I
Just
thought it
about
was
daily.
hilarious.
So I said, I tell you what, y'all want to carry on like that? I got something for all of you. And she's like, please don't do this. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's game on now. So just prepare oneself.
He said, have you tried turning it off and back on again?
No, I tried that.
Oh, man.
I tried that. And Ed's live yesterday, going to show him the
The
barometer.
fishing thing.
Yeah, the old fishing barometer over there. And I couldn't get the camera to turn around right. Oh, Snot Tub's hilarious.
Yeah.
I got something going for y'all. So y'all just wait for it. Let me say it like this. Y'all just wait for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Maybe next week I should have my attire. We'll put it like that for that portion. I need to figure out. I need to get with Johnny or Lee or somebody and make one of them. You know, like the news media does when they go to another segment, and create a segment of that, or have that as a segment part right there, and we'll figure out something to.
Blaine had
I'm sorry.
our barometer fluctuate a lot. His always seems to be up. So I guess every now and then it comes down a little.
Did you make?
Ours does fluctuate though.
But you can tell when the storm systems are coming in and heading out.
Mm-hmm.
Is yours the mason jar and the glass bottle?
Inside the mason jar.
Blaine?
Oh, he said I bought it.
Oh, he bought it. Yeah.
It might be defective.
Could be.
I don't know. We made ours.
Yeah. The fella, we got it from a fella that does, he's got a fishing channel. I can't remember what the main channel was, but you can look up homemade fishing barometer if it's something you're interested in. And the reason we've done it for the folks that's new, Hannah was stung last year, went into anaphylaxis. Make a long story short, we've had to adjust a lot of things on getting out there in the bees. And we was trying to figure out ways to, what were the best days to get out in the bees to where they're more calm, less apt to be fussy, anything like that, which our bees ain't really fussy.
Mm-mm. No, but Blaine, I mean, there's no trick to, well, at least with ours, there wasn't any trick to filling it up with water.
Oh, well, hold on.
Or was it?
A little bit. I had to explain because Ed, son of one, was talking about making him one. Green food coloring seems to work the best as far as lasting longer, not fading, and all that. But just a regular quart size mason jar. Fill that thing up just maybe a little bit more than 3/4 full in the mason jar. Mix your food coloring in there real good. Get it pretty as you want. You can make it dark as light as you want, but make it kind of dark so you can see it good. Then we had to use a root beer bottle, a Barks root beer bottle, because the neck of it was longer than a Coca-Cola. And kind of had to tilt that thing at just an angle a little bit to get it started. And once you get about an inch or so of that food coloring in the neck of it, set it off to the side, away from a window. And in about a week, it'll start doing its barometering.
Didn't it say you want like indirect sunlight?
No.
Like set it close to a window but not in sunlight? Because we put ours up by the kitchen window.
Yeah, I mean just a few feet away from where the sun is not beaming down on. You don't want any sunlight beaming on it.
Direct sunlight on it.
No.
Bob said my arthritis tells me when the weather's changing.
But it is pretty cool though. Like tonight, if I could get the thing, figure out the camera without shutting everybody off, it's down low. And in the next couple of days, whenever all this weather pushes through here and we start getting that high pressure back again, it'll be raised up in the neck of that bottle probably about 2.5, 3 inches versus a half inch or 3/4 to where it's at now. So it most definitely tells you when the lower pressure is getting in here. And we have figured that whenever it's a low pressure or the water level is down closer to the water in the mason jar, that's not a good time. The higher the water level is in the neck of the jar is going to be the best to get out there in them.
Chris, we'll add you back to the prayer list, man. I did not know you had all that going on. We just knew we hadn't seen you. It's a long story, but he's had multiple blood clots in his lung.
No word.
That's why he hadn't been in the chats and stuff.
Let's get you in here, bro. We'll sure get you added back to the prayer list. We'll go through that here in just a minute as well. There we go. I was asking about you the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't seen you, but glad to hear you getting on track.
He said blood thinners are working great.
Good deal.
So I guess he's starting to get better. But we'll definitely still add you back to the prayer list, buddy. And Laramore's in here. He just came in.
Well, good to see you too, G. Hope you've been doing good yourself, brother. We're still praying for you as well, my friend.
Yeah, we are. He said, I see the highlight on my name, but I can't read it. So he was just saying hey to everybody.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
You want to go through that while we on it?
Yeah. Right.
Y'all, if there's anybody we need to add to, take away from, let us know. We'll do so. If not, a lot of folks been emailing us lately, and we'll get you added to it or taken off. But
yeah. Okay, let me do this real quick then. Our buddy Keith Larimore and Mr. Mark Miller, Hillbilly Earl.
yeah, for him. He's supposed to be. Okay, go ahead. Nothing. He was wanting his name added down.
Alright, he told me y'all straight now. Alright, Ed and his wife, Miss Chris, the Dirt Rooster's dad, Mr. Pat, Miss Deb, the Sun Bunny, Bob's friend, Jason Cooper, and Grammy Lisa. We got her son and 2 granddaughters on here. And then Bob and his family, Mr. Donnie, Michael Tangway's wife, Miss Cindy, Miss Carla Green, DC's parents, David Hoskins' granddaughter, Emma, and then Flip, Honeystone Farm, his daughter, Samantha, and baby Luca that Mr. Dan Weaver put on here. He emailed us earlier and said, y'all please keep praying for baby Luca. He's still waiting on his heart transplant, but he said he's fighting. So y'all please remember the little babies. Canada Brad and the Brown and Daughters Beekeepers in Israel. Pam's Garden, her friend Mindy is on here. Philip's mentee's best friend, Deanna Wheeler, and then Philip's Aunt Linda and his cousin Lorinda, Sarah's daughter, Crystal, the Jennifer Brown family, Russell Amon's wife, Brenda. Did Sarah say to take her husband's cousin off?
Yes, You can remove Stephen's cousin. He is improved.
Okay. Alright, Queen Bee's honey, Jeremy and Valerie. Their youngest baby, Isaiah, is on here. And Bobby's Bee and his family. Minnesota Mike and his friend, Mr. Vincent. And then Kennedy Bowman, who's the young lady in South Carolina that's fighting for her honeybees. Phillips mentee, Rachel Wilson. Terry Chapman's family. And then Ed's dad, Mr. Mike Brown. And then Baker Bees added Aaron Frederick. He said he was a soldier who was hurt in a training accident, I think he said. And then we just added Chris back with his health issues he's got. And then if y'all would please continue to pray for my family, especially my dad. Am I missing anything?
Let me get back up here. All right, Sarah said we can remove Stephen. He's improved. Tom McAperry is saying his mother-in-law. Flip from Honeystone says thank you for all the prayers. Samantha is doing well and can be removed.
Oh, okay.
That's great to hear, Flip. Need to keep Miss Sherry Gandy on there. Says she tested positive again.
Oh no.
And Mr. Larry is saying he's just having symptoms.
Well, we'll add both of y'all back, Mr. Larry.
Sure will.
Man, y'all battled that stuff for months, it seemed like.
See, Sarah saying Crystal gets surgery next week on the 22nd.
Okay.
And Minnesota Mike said, I'm sorry.
I was reading this.
I'm sorry. All right, we go back. My bad, yeah. He's saying my father had a heart attack, failing kidneys, and has pneumonia. They can't do anything for the first.
For the first two, for the heart attack and the kidneys.
So I don't know how much time to get. We shall continue praying that the Lord's will be done. And we'll praise Him in all things.
Mike, that's awesome to hear. Because what, didn't you say they were afraid he had a stroke? If I remember right, Mr.
So.
Vincent? Because you said he's your friend at the sawmill, right? But either way, I'm really glad to hear he's doing well.
Yes, well. But the ones of you keeping up with the prayer list and all that, y'all add these folks in there on y'all's as well. Like I said, Lord knows who they are. I know it's hard to keep up with every single name. We try our best to have it out there for y'all, but there's no way that I know I couldn't memorize everybody on there, but we do pray for y'all, and the Lord knows that list without us having to name off names. Just the same as the church prayer list at your church, or your own personal prayer list within yourself.
Sarah said thank you for the fleas.
Oh, Lord, we get on that for a second.
Oh, no.
You said that, Sarah. We had a gentleman, we've been doing that shower all week, that ceramic shower. It's going to be pretty when it's done. Don't get us wrong, but it has been a thorn in the side trying to get that thing as it should be. But had a gentleman call whenever we was on lunch the other day. Say, hey, Tim, can you run by and check out this rental property for me. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's got to be done to it. Yeah, man, ain't no
But
problem.
he said stuff like patching sheetrock kind of stuff.
Yeah, some odd and ends. It's going to be a couple 3 weeks worth of work, but you know, get it back where I can start renting the thing out. So we went by there, and it's right down the road from the house here. Pulled up, walked inside the old place, started looking around, and we went in there, y'all. We made it through the kitchen and into a hallway area.
Like 12 steps, literally, like 12 steps. And I felt something, and I looked down, and my blue jeans were crawling, like they were moving. I about had a heart attack. It's like, no, 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 no.
Well, we got outside real quick whenever she said that, because you could see something on her blue jeans, but there wasn't good lighting in the house. And whenever we got outside, I looked at my blue jeans and they were moving too. And I was like, what in the world? And this house was infested with fleas.
Y'all, you talk about give you the heebie-jeebies. I was like, no, no, I can't do this. We came home and those clothes went in the washing machine with a pile of Dawn dishwashing liquid.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh. I've never in my life been covered like that. I was hot.
I was taking our shirt. Well, I was taking my long sleeve shirt that I'd had on and
beating the snot out of me.
Like you was on fire. I was trying to knock them things off of her.
I mean, they were everywhere. I was like, my gosh, they're going to get in my hair and everything. I was having a panic attack.
Well, we got in the truck after we defleed ourselves, and
Brian said fleeby-jeeby.
That's what it was, brother. I'm not one squeamish of much of nothing at all. And when I seen it, I was thinking to myself, good grief.
Oh, I was not happy. Lord, I was not happy.
So we got in the truck headed home, and it was about a 3-minute drive for us to the house. And I usually calling the customer back, it'll last 10 to 30 minutes talking about different things. And it didn't last that 3 minutes between here and the house with the fella. He said, well, Tim, you was able to go through there, huh? No. I said, well, no.
No. You get an exterminator over there and then we'll go through it.
Yeah. What you talking about? Exterminator. I said, Bubba, that place is full of fleas over there. We ain't going back in that place till you get that remedied.
I've never in my life been in a house that was that infested. It was unreal.
There was one in the house. I should have grabbed that one.
I will wash dishes for the rest of my life before you put something like that in my house. No.
But yeah, that was.
Do they smoke? I don't know.
The house was in disarray. The best way to put it.
I did see cigarette butts all over the floor, so I'm assuming they did.
Oh yeah, I mean, folks that was in there prior to obviously didn't care to at least keep the house. Now I understand we all have lives, and your house gets in a little mess from time to time, but there is a point to wipe the counters down and start vacuuming and cleaning up and that kind of stuff. But it was obvious that was the last thing on those folks' mind.
Philip said, I checked out a hive under a trailer home today, going to get them in 2 weeks. I'm going to channel my inner dirt rooster.
Best of luck to you, Bubba.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can get them on out of there without no problem. You got a beetle vac. I mean, a beetle vac.
Not a beetle vac.
I
don't remember if you have a bee vac or not. Danae said thanks. Now I got the itchy.
Hopefully nobody wakes up in dreams tonight going,
Yeah, I did.
"Them fleas?"
I scrubbed my head 3 times in the shower just to make sure there was no chance anything was in my hair. And I still dreamed. I had bugs crawling all over me. It's like, no. He might go on the next few estimates for the first.
That's just one of them, like, well, what have I walked into here? But
yeah. Oh, Chris said fleas don't like blood from smokers.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I think what they done is had a bunch of dogs in that house, and they had just infested the house from all them dogs. Cause
But too, it had been vacant for a while too.
that old carpet in there, and they left old mattresses and stuff. Plenty of grounds for them things to.
He has a, I can't see it from the heart, but I can't read it on that phone.
Okay, he says he got a robo-vac powered shot vac.
Oh.
Okay, good deal. Well, that'll make
You
it
got
easier.
something.
Mm-hmm. Here, we'll put the.
Yeah, put the link up. Let somebody come in and talk to us.
All right. Push the right button.
Philip, I'm hoping we start getting some calls like you. We ran into an exterminator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the local gas station up here, headed to work one morning. And I don't even know how you said something to him and got to talking, but long story short, we ended up he told us to call his company because they only had one beekeeper that they called, like one for 2 counties, I think, over here. So he told us to call him. We got our name and numbers in at their office now. So I'm hoping that turns into some cutout calls for us.
Sure will do. It'd be nice to get them freebies, and especially if it's any cutouts. Yeah, I'll take a little bit extra change doing them cutouts as well. Do need to charge up the everything VVAC. We didn't stick a charger or charge it once last year, and to our surprise, buddy, that baby still crunk up and run like a brand new Cadillac. But we do know that it's been over. It has been 8 years now, so it's time to charge it. Just to show you how slow the season was. One charging, it didn't run that battery down. But
DC.
Ricky in it? Oh, there's Ricky in it.
Yeah, I told him I was at DC. He is on it tonight.
We was talking about that. We was talking about that earlier because without getting into detail and all that of our personal life, our hearts are heavy right now. And we know he has a plan. And even though we don't know the understanding of the plans, we do lean on the Lord with heavy hearts. But I'm going to leave it at that. But, yes, sir, DC. He's got it worked out. We just got to trust.
I told him, don't you be sorry, DC. Hey, that's even better, Philip. So it should be a super easy one. All he's got to do is cut out a little floor insulation.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Because everything that we find to be, oh, this ain't going to be nothing. 15 minutes.
That's a 6-hour job.
Yep. But I hope it does go good and smooth for you. You can get in there and get them puppies out, find your queen, get them back home and get them in a good colony and or into a good hive there, and
Oops, somebody's
they'll produce
trying
for
to
you.
come in.
Go on.
You ain't even looking.
I wouldn't.
You yakking.
Let's see. How do I say that? Minnesotian. Is that right?
Oh my.
What do you say, Mike?
Oh, just fine. I just wanted to be certain to join you guys tonight because I always miss it. So, yeah, Hannah, I've been through thousands and thousands of homes, and I remember the first one I went into that had it was vacant, it was infested. I walk in there and the floor moved.
Oh no.
The only thing that you want to keep in mind when you do that, take your clothes out, put them in the washing machine, and let them soak so you drown the fleas. So
Yeah, that's why I
one
filled
way
it
to
up with Dawn too.
Yeah. Oh heavens, yes. No, that. Yeah. Well, the problem with that is that eats your clothes. So.
She was on a killing mission.
I was like, this is not happening in my house.
Yeah. And back in 2006, I was up in Alaska and came home, and the whole peninsula was infested with sand fleas.
Ooh.
Oh my
in the cabin,
God.
yeah, it was pretty bad. I think I bombed the cabin twice, and was giving the two cats flea baths just continuously. And it was just, we had one dog that was over here, beautiful, beautiful Rottweiler, and I went to hit it with a garden hose, and blood came off it. That's how badly infested it was. So, yeah.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pretty just crazy
things
stuff.
get
So,
bad.
yeah.
Larry again said I started
Larry,
scratching
rightfully
this
so.
listener.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty out there. And there's Grammy, Lisa.
Yeah, she made it back in.
So, yeah, we had a crazy thing here where it's been, really unusually warm here, and we really haven't any snow. Now, last year we had, I think, like 4 feet of snow on the ground. We went to dig a grave on the other side of the lake, and the frost usually goes down 2.5 feet. It was like an inch or two of frost. That's how much snow we had. Well, we don't have any this year, and it's just so doggone warm. And last Friday, I came home from the veterinarians, and it was the maple tree was actually raining. The sap was running. Everybody was tapping trees up here, and now those buds are frozen. So what's going to happen? I don't know. So luckily, I've got a lot of pussy willows here, but they just bring in pollen. They don't bring the nectar in. So I don't know.
Hopefully, y'all don't get in the same situation that we had. Getting all that young foliage in, then here comes a freeze.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That can be pretty out there, but we'll find out. So
Y'all really don't start kicking off good until around the end of March into April?
I thought y'all were a little later.
It really depends, and we've got a climatologist here that's looking at the sunspots. They say we might have a hard frost, and we can have hard frost up to May 25th. It's very, very rare. So you think about all the other flowers that are going to come up and pop, and if it freezes those out. So we'll probably be going through a certain amount of pollen sub and nectar. So it should be interesting. But you just put the insulated feeders on and kind of go from there. So kind of crazy, but it's also going to be hard on the bees. I guess kind of the good news is that I opened up my middle ports on my hive boxes, and any of the weaker hives, the smaller hives, had a chance to go out and take, poop flights. So they've relieved themselves now. So they're going to be locked up for another month. I'm not nearly as worried. So, but yeah. So it was really kind of crazy. Just a way to go there. So anyways, that's that. And got the football game on in the background here just because I think it's actually a good game. It's not one-sided.
I really, we ain't even turned nothing on.
Why?
No.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, we do college ball. You know, just growing up on it, I guess, and there's always food involved. So that's about the extent of it for us.
yeah, absolutely. It thundered here last night. So, Larry, where's Larry?
Mississippi,
Yeah.
South Central Mississippi.
Yeah, I
I've always heard that old tales of it thunder in February. It was going to frost and or freeze or something in
Mhm.
April or May. But it seems like it thundered down here. November, December,
And
January, and we
we had
fixing to
tornado weather in January.
go in.
waiting on my new nuke to arrive on April 1st.
Oh,
And
I know
Shannon
that's
had
exciting.
and Shannon had 6 out of 6
Yes.
so far. That's wonderful.
But I think she's saying she got a new horizontal hive from Ricky. So I think she's saying she's waiting on a nuke to put in that hive.
Oh,
Is this the Shannon that bought Ricky out at the conference? Are you the Shannon, the lady that bought everything from Ricky this year? If so, buddy, what, how many, if you are, didn't you get 5 or 6 of them? I think it was.
I don't know.
Several of them. I believe Ricky said. If so, you're going to love them.
We do. Like, we love our horizontal hive.
We can't wait to get ours back packed out.
At least at 8.
8. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Well, she's definitely going to have some fun.
Colorado. Yeah.
And she said, LOL, no. She wasn't the one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Wow. I guess the good news about the warm snap that we had here is that I was actually able to hit the hives twice in a 10-day period with oxalic. And so did Russell Koopman. He's on the west coast of Minnesota. But he was laughing. He says, if there's I'm going to paraphrase here, but he's like, I don't think there's going to be any mites left.
Yeah.
Well, that's the point. But he was teasing me about that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the plan, to knock them puppies out of there.
Yeah. Well, I was hitting them with 8 grams, 4 per super. And so that was, what the heck? I love this InstaVap.
I heard a lot of people talking about that.
It's really simplified life, Hannah. I mean, I can go up to that thing and and it seems kind of incidental. This, of course, this thing is battery, cleared, but the cool thing about it though is I can just take that plunger, and I actually wrote to Rob about this when they were talking about doing it. I said, you got to get a plunger like Man Lake. Well, you take the plunger, you're not filling up those goofy caps anymore. And so that really speeds stuff up. Punch in, put it in there, hit the plunger.
Nice.
On there. So, hey, Chris.
Hey guys, I don't want to.
Good to see you.
You good, bro? Yeah, good to see you back. Like I said, we was asking about you the other day.
I had no idea you were going through all that.
Yeah, it's been a rough end of December, all of January.
Golly, Chris.
But they seem to have you leveling out.
Yeah, the blood thinners and blood pressure medicine. That's what I've been taking. Seem to work pretty good on it. I'm back now.
It's good to hear you making progress.
Well, that's why when you were talking about the fleas, I'm like, yeah, Hannah would love my job.
No, sir. I wouldn't. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd do it if I had to, but I would not love.
Or no, that's when that duct tape and tie back comes out and that kind of stuff.
Not even then.
Yeah, but what I was saying about the smoking, the scent of the cigarette smoke on people's skin, the fleas
Mhm.
tend to stay away from them. That's why I was wondering if they were smokers, and that's why they didn't realize they had that bad flea infestation.
Ah, I really couldn't answer that honestly, because I don't know. But I do think the house had been vacant for a little while, but it was not in good condition.
Oh Lord, no.
But there was cigarette butts like all through there in the floor, so that could have definitely been a contributing factor, I guess.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Mike, you guys have some good weather up there right now.
No, he said what?
Mike.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Oh, I thought you froze.
Oh
He-
no, I found a great source for a Milwaukee 8-hour amp hour battery, and I wanted to share that with Lee there. Yeah, it was like a discontinued submodel of the 8 amp hour, and I think the battery was like $109, and with shipping it was $120. I'm like, okay, you're coming home with me. So,
Yeah.
by the way, on a funny thing, I got an adapter for my Dyson stick vacuum cleaner. And so I can actually plug that 8 amp hour thing into this Dyson stick. So like sucking the threads off my Berber carburetor.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty funny. Chris, where are you? I'm
in South Carolina, just an hour away from Bob.
Are you really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm further south than he is. So my weather was 76 today.
Oh, very nice. And how's your rain down there?
Lack of. We need some.
It is. Okay. Okay.
Well, it's headed to you, brother.
Yeah, well, that's what they said today. We're supposed to have some today, but I was out fishing. That tells you that I believe my weather forecast people.
Oh, Southeastern said he had snow today.
Yeah.
Let's see, who was Colorado?
Tom.
Parts of Nevada, I think it was, and the top part of Texas, back up in there, and I think a little bit of Oklahoma. We're supposed to be getting some snow on the backside of all this mess.
Yeah, I know it was raining just south of Dallas. Russell Koopman's down there, and he sent me a picture. He titled it, "This is what rain looks like."
Yeah, it's been a little while, huh?
Yeah, no, our lake is down 2 feet, so.
And Mr. Larry said it's raining hard in his place.
Wow.
We'll be getting that probably in about the next couple hours. We'll be getting what Mr. Larry's getting.
DC said Texas gonna get wet.
Well, my pond's about a foot low, so I need some water in my pond.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't know.
Oh, that ain't no fun, Mr. Larry.
But I mean, we sure need the rain because I know a lot of us have been in a drought or below average for pretty much since the summer.
Yeah. But we're still below average.
Yeah, if this goes on this year, this will be our 4th year of drought. But we've got kind of an odd situation here because the weather literally splits over my lake, and it has for at least 9 decades. It's interesting when a front comes in, you can actually watch in the radar. So, yeah, it gets thin, as it were. And Tom's got plenty of rain. Good for you, man.
He said he saw the sun today, too. I'm jealous, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is that thing?
Seriously.
Now, the beginning of this week, buddy, y'all, it was the weather we live for down here.
Yeah.
Bluebird skies, 68 degrees, low humidity, just beautiful, beautiful days, Monday and Tuesday.
I could not wait for the breaks where we had to sit for 30 minutes and let mud set up. I was like, yeah, I'm landing in the sun somewhere in the yard.
I know my bees have been pretty active this whole week.
Mm-hmm.
What
We've
have they
had
been
some
doing?
good
They're bringing in?
orientations.
Couldn't understand any of that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Are they bringing in pollen or?
Oh yeah, they bring in pollen, and I've had to put some sugar water out. That's about the only thing I had to put out. But my neighbor has a big garden, and it's got a whole bunch of yellow flowers. I don't know what she has on there. I think it's beans or something. I don't know, whatever grows in the wintertime over here. But she's got a big garden that they're just all over there.
Really?
Only bad thing is she's allergic to honeybees. So guess what she does?
No.
Oh yeah, she sprays my bees.
Wow.
Oh, no.
What's wrong with you?
Then she asked me for honey. I said, "Well, I can't give you no honey if I don't have no bees."
Yeah, and they ain't gonna just come sting you or nothing just
That's what I
because.
tried to explain to her. Yeah, I tried to explain that to her. But she's a flower-loving woman over there, and I mean, front and back, her whole yard is like a florist. So my bees love it, but she doesn't love it.
Wow, I'm sorry.
So I've had out of the 16 hives going into winter, I've got 7 of them still.
And then think about all the contaminated wax.
Yes, that's the bad thing.
So you're gonna have to do away with all of it. Let them start from scratch.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
Man, hate that.
And I try to tell her not to do it, and she just laughs. It's like, you don't get it.
she thinks it's
Oh,
funny.
my word.
So, well, if you want them flowers to be all pretty and nice and everything, you kind of need them bees to help out with that
That's
process.
at least,
Or at least,
I think we were in
I need to train them, keep them in my yard.
yeah.
I think I was in second grade, actually, with a gal from Texas, and we had honeybees in the backyard. They were just laying on the flowers. We didn't even know where they came from. When they're on the flower, you can literally go over and pet them.
Yep.
And I'm so sorry, Chris. That's just absolutely crazy.
Can't teach ignorance.
Oh, yeah,
You can't fix the other end of that.
No, c'est la vie. Sinners can repent, but stupid is forever.
yes, sir, you tried.
You said it for me, Mom.
Mr. Laird, Gandy, we haven't been able to dig deep down into them. Whenever put that little bit of pollen sub on them Thursday. Well, in a horizontal hive, that nuke that's come through the season good, and the Langstroth we got out there, popped the inner cover on it, and I wasn't paying attention at first, but I was putting that pollen sub down there on them top frames, and there is beautiful, beautiful white comb, as far as burr comb, and from what I could tell, just peeping down on the outer frames, you can see where they're just now starting to take and draw.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please call me. He said you can't think stupid, but a table for will
Yes, sir.
I really shouldn't laugh that hard at that. Hilariously.
She's like 70 years old. I can't do that with too much.
Oh, no.
So imagine saying that line. Beekeeper takes out elderly or something.
Right.
Lord have mercy.
Y'all think that little girl up in Carolina's having issues? You come out with something like that, my word.
Man.
Oh, that hit me hard. DC said you can't do it, but you can sure think it.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to right then when she told me she sprayed them.
Mm,
Well, you do have our moments of,
DC is getting mad for you, Chris.
I see that. I'll send a plane ticket for you.
what is wrong with you?
Oh my goodness.
Mm.
So,
oh man.
But some folks, they just, no matter how much you try to encourage them in the understanding and tell them, look, hey, go do the research too. Don't just take my word for it. But I'm trying to tell you something. Please take note and listen. And it's just,
you go.
don't want no part of it.
Please said, please forgive me.
We forgive you, Lee. We forgive you.
Sarah's was pretty good too. Said I get asked if I make honey a lot. I have to admit to being a thief then. I don't make it, I just take it.
Good. That's one of them. Here's your sign. Or,
Seriously.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of y'all have seen this, but the deer crossing, the lady that called in, how that's one of them deer crossing sign moments of.
What you really said that out loud.
Oh,
man.
absolutely brutal. But so I think there was somebody, and I can't remember who it was, but we all know the name. But he was scraping his frames down and then melting that wax. He was going to use that to re-wax his frames. And Russell and I are like, well, wait a minute. You're re-waxing frames with old comb that has got some contaminant in it. Why would you possibly do that? You're putting it back on. Use the uncappings for that. But, too bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a colony collapse, and especially if it's due to an insecticide or something along that, I could see maybe a first-year beekeeper not knowing to get rid of that. But if you've been doing it, a year or 3 beyond that, you should kind of start gaining that knowledge of, what are the health effects on a colony if I use contaminated wax.
Oh yeah, it's just I just don't get that. I mean, I really don't. And it was like I said, it was somebody we all know. I'm not even going to guess at the name. I think it starts with a B, but Philip. Wait a second. How do we edit here? His head's too shiny.
put a filter
that's the reason
okay.
And the funny thing about that, you'll never see a bald man in a soup line.
I just had mine shaved off.
Shoot. So, Mike, you said I'd forgotten all about Russell being in town. I hope he wasn't. You said south of Dallas. I bet he was right on top of me.
Oh crap! Well, okay, so he's going to come back. I think on Tuesday. It's a town south of Dallas. It has like an Indian name, like Witchy something. I don't remember.
He's over. Yeah, he's in. Now I'm drawing a blank. You made me think Wichita Falls, but that's north. I know where you're talking about. Waxahachie.
Thank you.
DC's calling y'all the Bald Beekeeper Club.
Waxahachie. Yeah, that's actually not that. It's about an hour west of where my farm is. Waxahachie is.
We got a river up here called Waxahachie.
But he's probably coming back through Dallas or Fort Worth. I don't know which one. Probably Dallas.
Well, yeah. Okay. So I think they flew into Dallas. I can't remember the name of the airport there because I've never flown in there.
Probably.
Yeah. Thank you, Larry.
Probably DFW International. He
Okay.
could have flown into Love Field, but probably DFW International. There's pretty direct
Does
flights. Did he
anybody
go
remember
from?
the Ron White? Okay. Texas. My brother went to college there. Oh, okay. Okay. Thanks, Queen Bee. Nice to see you here. You stepping in. Very nice.
Hey, Jeremy, how you doing?
Have you guys
Got
ever
that
heard
boat
the
looking good.
Ron White joke about they were taking some small plane out of from one little town to Texas, the other one, and pilot goes, hang on, we're having a little bit of engine trouble. We're gonna have to turn around, and Ron says, well, the plane was so low he could have just turned around and said, hey, folks. And the guy next to him, as he puts it, he said the guy next to him apparently has something to live for, and he asked, how far is the plane going to go? And Ron White looks at him and goes, all the way to the crash.
Yeah,
That's wrong.
Yeah, and that's Ron. So kind of. So have you gotten rain down there too, Philip, in the last day or so?
Oh man, I Saturday I just sat in the cabin and I got out a couple of times. It was raining, but today wasn't too bad. It
Good.
rained up here in Capel, I understand, all day, but I was able to get out and do some clearing some fence rows. But I was, the main reason I went down there was to feed the bees. I had some that were light a couple weeks ago, but when I went out there, a lot of them hadn't taken their feed from 2 weeks ago, and it was only 2 quarts. And the ones that did take their feed seemed heavy enough, so I only ended up feeding 2 colonies and a nuke out of 24 colonies. So I guess that's good news.
Wow.
They must be getting something. There's some hen bet out there, and I noticed I don't know if they get pollen, but the cedar is blooming, so it's got yellow pollen all over it. But
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have an early spring ourselves.
I want
Daffodils are already blooming everywhere.
I want to apologize to you, Chris, because when you guys were getting all your rain, it would just make me mad when y'all would talk about rain back when we were in our drought.
Same here. Yeah. Don't even bother telling me about it.
But man, the water this morning when I left this morning, it was still just running. The dry creeks and stuff were just overflowing. It was crazy. This morning at 5 o'clock, it woke me up, and then I checked my phone, and there was severe thunderstorm warnings, and they were predicting hail. It did hail a little bit north of me, but we got like pea-sized hail. But just a
Wow.
ton of rain. But all my tanks are overflowing.
Goodness me. So you mentioned something about finding a beehive underneath a trailer or something, or
Yeah, when I was down there, yesterday, one of the neighbors called me down the street, and his grandson moved an old trailer that he got from his uncle in front of his dad's house, and he's going to renovate it. And he said they had bees flying in and out of underneath it. So I went down there today, and it's right under the end, so it's real easy to get to. It's right at the edge of it. And I laid down and looked up, and it was a big. At one point, it was a big colony. There was a 2 foot by 2 foot area of comb, and real old dark comb. But there was a little small cluster at one spot of it. But it goes up pretty deep, and it's open where the I don't know, trailer homes have those. What do you call that? A black kind of a mesh or something that holds the insulation.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a chunk out of that, probably, at least a foot or 18 inches square. And the bees, it was almost like an open air colony right under there. But it does go back under the insulation a little bit. And you could tell it'd been there a while because there was wax that had, I guess, melted and dripped down onto that stuff that holds the insulation up. It was about an inch thick, just
Really?
solid, hard, brown.
It got really hot.
Ooh, yes, sir.
Yeah, it gets real hot around it. And that stuff that holds it up was black colored, so I bet it does get hot under there. But anyway, it's going to be easy, I believe. I just have to cut that stuff and I'm going to vacuum them out of there and try to find the queen. We'll see. It looked like a pretty small colony to me.
I like it. It's like laying on your back. Hold on. I was there last year.
Yeah, it is on my back, but it's a. I don't know. I guess it is a little bit of a reach up there because they've got it on blocks. You know, it's pretty
Yeah.
high up. He mounted it pretty high up.
So Philip and I were talking last week about like bee removal, and like it'd be stupid not to like advertise for it here. But I've gotten a number of calls on the peninsula here from people that said, "Yeah, we've got a swarm of bees here." You know what they were? Is in the fall, and they were sweat bees, and they were feeding on a hummingbird feeder. Yeah, okay. Happens. Gifted 5 Gunline Bees memberships. Oh, neat. Very, very nice.
Yeah, I think now make sure you hit the button to where it says if it pops up on your comment part where you can accept the memberships. That way, Lee had just gifted 5 to folks, and
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's a tech tip or not, but I think it'll pick randomly on that right there. But and thank you too, Steve Amos, for coming on board.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Nice.
Let's see, DC got one.
DC, William, Sharon.
God love you, Lee. There you go, folks. Thank you.
Yeah, I laid underneath those bees, and they didn't even act like I was there. They didn't care. We'll see when I start cutting them out. But
Hey, look, the last time we did one under a trailer, which we didn't have to cut them out, and it was before I turned allergic, but literally, we were out there in shorts and t-shirts getting the bees out and never got stung a single time.
one of them lit on my arm, and it started buzzing a little bit, and I was like, "Okay, are you gonna sting me?" And she just changed her mind and started sniffing. And
Yeah. He smelled funny, Philip. She had to check you out.
I had not bathed in a couple of days, so yeah.
Oh, no.
And I've been playing in the mud.
I'm not
That's what changed your mind. That's
Reason I'm
what
late,
saved
I had to clean up a little bit before I could get on here.
I don't know why this thing, the
that's
chat keeps freezing up.
Shoot, my bees were checking me out today because I haven't been out there a while. They're like, "Who are you?"
Stuff in the ground.
We was going to try. This was going to be the weekend to get out there and rummage through everybody and see, okay, where we at and where do we need to start heading with things. And was really hoping yesterday we could have done it. Then it turned into, well, are we going to get the rain showers coming in about the time we get tearing into them? Or is it just going to do like it often does down here? They say it's going to rain and you wait all day to do nothing and nothing happens.
Southeastern.
Oh, God,
Thank you so much, Southeastern Colorado. We appreciate it.
oh, do.
I'm trying to stay out of my bees until March, but we'll see.
I don't know if I'm going to make it that long. I really don't know if I can hold out that long.
I watch people like Joey and Mike getting in their bees and like, man, you guys need to stop that. It makes me want to get in them worse. But they're a couple of weeks ahead of me on pretty much everything. But
Is that your main reason in not getting in, or are you just waiting for that flow to kind of start turning on?
Yeah, I don't see any real reason to get into them right now.
Some of us don't need a reason. Some of us just want to get in.
But if it's as early as everybody says, but I need to get, and I think part of it is I'm just getting started building bee equipment, and I think I'm just trying to pretend that it's not honest like it really is. I
You're
start getting into
procrastinating, Philip.
yes, I am.
Oh man.
You're gonna find yourself in Blaine's Club if you don't watch out.
I'm gonna be just grabbing every
Mm.
little piece of everything to
Hillbilly.
stick bees in.
Oh,
Oh, there's Queen Bees. Have you guys seen the what's the name of that guy's channel? He's out in Amarillo. And he had a really cool video. It was from last August, but he had his bees on sunflowers. I saw that today. I think he released
Really?
it this morning.
oh.
Flowers.
Yeah, I can't remember his channel name. I've subscribed to it, but yeah, he was on sunflower. I mean, he said it was a what is it? What do they have in Canada?
Yep.
They don't do acres. They do
Heffley hives.
Heffley hives. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, queen bee just.
That's what Jeremy was saying.
Yeah, Heffley hives. That's it. But he had the sunflowers they had out there were in the they have big areas with windmills, and the sunflowers were under the windmills. And
Oh,
he said they had what is it they and how do they count land in Canada? I forget what it is. It's
Is it
they don't
hectares?
they don't use acres. They use I forget what it's called.
what'd you say, Texas?
I know the English use hectares or
Um,
something like that.
Well, hectares is a measurement of acres. So
Yeah, I
you have
forget what somebody
sections, quarters.
might
But anyways,
might be sections.
Okay.
But anyway, he was saying that he took a shot at Ian. He said Ian only had a half section of sunflowers, and he's got a full section out there, 600 acres of sunflowers. That's a massive area.
yeah.
I wish somebody would do that down here. I would love to see some of these fields out here, just to see that abundance of sunflower.
I see some on my way to the farm sometimes, right off the interstate. But now he's got me thinking I might be looking that up and see whose that is, and see if I could take them, 10 hives down there and stick them up there and see. I don't know what sunflower honey tastes like though.
Yeah, but I've never had any either.
Now the closest we seen was the feller. He owns a feed store right down the road from us, but he planted, and we thought this was just beautiful in itself, but it probably wouldn't. I'd say 200 square is what he planted out in front of the feed store there. But it'd be awesome to see what 600 acres of that stuff. I mean, that would just be beautiful.
Yeah. They looked kind of like just about everything out there in West Texas. They seemed to be real short. They weren't tall like the ones Ian had. They looked to be about 4 or 5 feet tall.
So in Northwest,
it was pretty.
Yeah, up in Northwest Minnesota, there's a huge. They grow sunflowers up there, like people down south will grow corn. And driving by, and they've got those 8-foot ones there. Now those are all oil sunflowers. So yeah, something like that. But wow, I just can't imagine anybody having sunflowers right now. In fact, I think you're lying.
No, this was in August. He just posted it.
Oh,
today.
thank goodness!
The video was from August.
Oh, thank you. I guess the wheels are spinning. I'm like, how the heck?
Mike missed that when you said that earlier.
Brian was gonna start smoking there.
No. It was from. It said the date on his video was August 13th, which made me really jealous because August here in Texas is just unbearably hot and nothing. And I have those snow on the prairie flowers that make your honey taste terrible and burn your throat. But at least it gives the bees something, so I don't try not to complain too much about it. But
yeah,
they have cotton out there. They have cotton and I guess now sunflowers. Queen V says, "Come on, Amarillo is the panhandle, not west." You're right. Everything west. You're right. It's northwest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
They do spray pesticides on all that stuff to kill the other insects.
I was.
That's what somebody else had commented in the chat just a minute ago.
Well, he was working with the grower, so hopefully they didn't do that on his. But He didn't just take his colonies out there, but
A 600-acre greenhouse,
the cool,
Yeah.
There you
complete
cool-
with windmills, by the way.
the cool thing about it though is that that's all that's going to be in his honey. There's nothing else there. For as far as just about as far as bees are going to care to fly. So
Okay.
go. So yeah, well there.
no, I'm not talking about broomweed. Broomweed is later. Broomweed's over in September, middle of late September or October area. Yeah.
Okay.
The thing I'm talking about is commonly known as snow on the mountain or snow on the prairie. You can Google that and it'll pop up. It's kind of it looks a little bit like goatweed at first, but it has a variegated leaf. It's white and green on the leaf. They look white. The whole plant looks white and it has little tiny white flowers. But
Yeah,
we literally had not had rain for like 75 or 80 days, and I could literally see the nectar in the flowers. And I was like, how the hell do those things plant? How do they grow, first of all, and how do they produce nectar?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That morning dew, maybe just enough to
At that
Kinda.
time of year, there is no dew when you're 75 days without rain.
go.
Yeah, there's nothing.
wow. I don't know.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I've
I don't
I've
put
got
honey
this-
supers on
You don't. You just leave it off.
when those plants are out.
Yeah.
If you want to take the honey at all.
Okay.
But it didn't work out for me because after I put them on September 15th and they didn't make any fall honey anyway. Down there, they did up here in Capel.
Okay. Yeah, we've got snow on the mountain here too, Dennis. And I for the life of me, I can't remember what the flowers look like. We use them as a ground cover in my back hosta garden.
Mhm.
They're very pretty, but man, I just trying to remember what the heck the flower looks like, Philip.
Let me see if I can pop it up here and share.
Good night there, Colorado.
Take care, Colorado. Appreciate you dropping in.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it close too, guys, because I got early.
Well,
Yeah.
good to see you, Chris. I'm glad to hear you doing better, bro.
Hey, Chris.
You guys have a great night.
Take care.
You too,
Glad
man.
you're doing better there.
Bye.
Let's
Yeah,
see
wow.
here. Let me try to see if I can.
Yeah, Vince's wife over at the mill is she grows those things long. But you know something? They're under pine trees. I don't think those particular ones ever flower. The mountain plant and flowers.
Can y'all see that? Did that pop up?
Mm,
Mm-mm. Well, hold on. Let me
look at
look in here. See.
that.
Yeah, okay. Don't do
Let
nothing yet.
me put it on the screen.
I wish I could show the plant from a little further distance from the
It
side.
does look pretty.
Yeah, they're nice looking. But they'll
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's the snow on the mountain flower.
Yeah, it's snow on the mountain and snow on the. That's kind of what it looks like right there.
they're pretty.
So you can imagine at a distance, the whole field looks white.
Oh, wow. That would be cool to see.
That's all that's out there that time of year.
That's just beautiful.
Be like us looking through a cotton field, as far as that pretty white all that out through yonder.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Wow.
All right.
That's
Somebody had said they got honey off the sunflowers, but it crystallized really fast.
Hmm.
But they're the only one I saw.
Look at down. Other way.
so. Would you guys mind if I ask your audience a question here? I was just wondering what they use for video editing. I'm using an open face thing or open source one called Shotcut. It's free. I can run on Linux or Windows or I think even Mac. But I'm just curious what everyone else is doing. if you guys haven't seen the last picture that that William did down there, he had picture in picture, and it looked absolutely beautiful.
Mhm.
I just like the way they did it.
I
Why
imagine
is
there's
Jasper-
somebody in here that can fix you up.
Okay.
I use Filmora, but
There
and
we
it
go.
is
Yeah.
easy.
Okay. Yeah. Lee, I knew he used
Yeah.
Premiere Pro. That's a powerful unit there. That's pretty crazy.
Filmora, you have to be careful because they give you some add-ons, but as soon as your month is up, they send you a bill for you get a big, huge bill for those free add-ons.
Okay.
So you need to try to refuse the add-ons when they try to give them to you.
What was that Will said? iMovie is what he used. Will.
Yeah.
And
And Square B said Final Cut Pro.
Uh,
There's
You
your
know,
starting point, Mike.
yeah. Well, I'm still using Shotcut is a lot like Adobe Premiere, and I think Final Cut Pro was I think that was a Sony product. I used that several years ago. So that's thanks. B Nerd Canada adopted the U.S. public land system smart. Oh, okay.
Mm.
Interesting, Stephen. Very interesting. Canada adopted the U.S. public land system.
okay.
And electricity, they'll be able to do more things. So I gave Ian a lot of crap once. He was going to be coming down here. I says, I don't want you to be shocked because we have something called indoor plumbing here.
Oh my God.
Well, that's okay. And oh man, that's just really insane. Well, folk, I need to go here too. I'm going to be getting up at 5.
All right, Mike,
So-
take it easy.
All right.
Hey,
Back to the
wonderful to see
real
you
world
all.
tomorrow.
See you later. See you later, Mike.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Here, Mike.
All right.
Well, it's just a long Texican here.
Yeah, it's just
Tough
me.
man standing, Philip.
I don't have much to talk about. I just dodged the rain all weekend and cleared fence rows.
Oh,
About it.
that sounds fun.
Yep. But I was, you know what? It was nothing like being trapped in the cabin all day. You don't really care what you're doing when you get outside, even if it is hard work. At least you're outside.
Just do something. Get out of this thing. These 4 walls.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Cabin fever. Yeah, because you said you were trapped in because it was raining the whole time, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I sat there. I didn't have any food in there, so I fought my way out. And I have to have my driveway gets so muddy that I have to kind of up on the hill by the cabin. I have to just go. I'll go open the gate and just go. I can't stop. Otherwise, I'm stuck, and I have to get up the tractor out and all that stuff. So I did go to the grocery store, and I was so hungry. I went there just to get some pork chops to pan fry, and I ended up spending $64 on.
I was going to say, it's never good to go to the grocery store hungry, Philip.
I bought all kinds of stuff. Oh, it was
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this will be good. Oh, yeah.
that's right.
We did that one time 3 years ago when those last pretty bad hurricanes came through here. We were, calling ourselves grown-ups. Well, we're going to go buy some emergency hurricane food because we know the power's going to go out. Well, we went in there on our way home from work, starving. And literally, you should have seen the look the cashier was giving us because we spent like $70 on junk food.
Snack.
Like chips and cookies and all this crap. We didn't buy the first can of soup or nothing to let us survive through a hurricane. I was like,
Yeah.
way to go, grown-ups here.
Yeah, I went and found the pork chops I wanted, put them in my cart, and then as I was coming back by, they had a little stand there that had fully cooked rotisserie chickens, and they was only $6. Chicken
Those
raw
are
chicken.
dangerous.
Yeah, and it was I found it, and they were the same price regardless. So I found a real big fat one, and I put that in my cart. And so then these ladies were talking about this brisket dip and how great it
Oh,
was. And I was like, y'all gotta quit talking like that. I went over there, and before you know it, I bought that, and that was like $12.50. It wasn't, but
uh-huh.
it had smoked brisket in it. So, but
You're
then
thinking with your stomach, Philip.
if you bought that, that was $12.50. But if you spent $20 on those pre-made things, they'd give you $5 off. So I had to pick something up,
Oh,
some
go
sand.
back and get more.
And then because that's brisket dip, you got to get the like tortillas or chips, and I got both.
Mm-hmm.
I got both of those. So ended up getting ice
Why pick
cream.
one or the other?
Ended up getting ice cream. Yeah, it was.
We
And
got
what's funny is I was there to get uh, I was there to get pork chops, maybe a sweet potato, and some lettuce to make a salad, and a tomato, and then I was going to get uh, milk, eggs, and maybe some breakfast sausage or something for the next day. So my
Mm,
carts are all full of this stuff. I'm like, yeah, I think I got everything. And I went, son of a gun, I didn't even get eggs and milk yet.
you didn't even get what you went
No,
for.
I did. I remembered it, and I went back and got them. But yeah, I was over there in the ice cream section and hadn't even gotten eggs and milk. So this
You
morning,
hadn't even got the big kid food yet.
I, I got up this morning to cook breakfast. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even get any sausage. So I ended up having to eat some the chicken, the rotisserie chicken for breakfast.
Well, hey, chicken and eggs ain't bad.
No, it was good.
well, pork chop would have been good. We do a lot of places down here do that on pork chop breakfast.
Yeah.
That's exactly was my plan, Tim. But when I got back with all that food, I threw those pork chops in the freezer because I knew I was eating that chicken. And I got up
Uh,
the next morning, it was frozen. So I was like, I'm not dealing with it. Throwing it
duh.
out.
I'm not waiting 2.5 hours. I'm starving.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's it. We said I have home canned beef stew and pulled pork for emergency.
That man is smart. Yes, sir. Gonna have something for them storms and all that. Try to make it some kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did lose, I guess you could say I lost a colony, but I had an open air colony. I don't remember if I did a short on that or not, but they had built a little colony underneath one of my swarm traps. Instead of going in it, they built right on the bottom of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my swarm traps come in two pieces. So I just went and got another bottom of a swarm trap, and I set that one on top of it so that their open air colony was down in a swarm trap, and I put it back on the stand and everything, and I put some, and in the top one I have a little hole with a screen in the bottom, so I put some sugar syrup in the top one that they could come get through the screen. And I did that once, and then 2 weeks ago, right before it was going to be really cold, I had some sugar syrup, but when I got over there where there was, I didn't have a screwdriver to open the swarm trap. So I was like, but there were still bees coming in and out of there. And I said, yeah, maybe I'll come back out here because it's way in the back of the property. So I didn't feed them. And then when I went back to feed them this time, they were dead. They died. So
Oh,
Mm-mm.
I should have fed them 2 weeks,
bummer.
but they were tiny, and I didn't think they were going to make it, but I'm wishing I had went ahead and fed them 2 weeks ago. They might have been still alive. But
You gonna leave that up for another swarm trap?
well, I took it down because I have to. It's it has two bottoms, so there's like a deep super and another deep super, and there's a bottom in between them. So I have to take it apart and take that bottom out of the middle, so it's one big volume.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll put it back up, and I did get I got the wax out and stuck it in the freezer so the wax moths wouldn't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
Just them being in there with all that wax and all that smell, it will help.
Yeah.
I went and took down another swarm trap that I've been just forgetting to take down, and when I opened it up, it was full of yellow jackets that were overwintering in there. That's what,
Ooh.
and red wasp. That's what they do. That's what my swarm traps are good for. If you don't close them up or take them down, they you open them up, and there's I had some that I brought back here and opened up, and man, it had thousands of yellow jackets in there, just thousands.
Oh no.
And I just poured them out on I waited till a real cold day, and I poured them out on the table, and they were about that thick and about a big pile like that. And I just took my knife tool and just started smashing them. It was
He was like, oh, yeah.
just
That
crunching
stress
them.
reliever.
So I was gonna say that's like Philip's version of axe throwing to relieve stress.
I and then the next one, I didn't have the heart to do it. It kind of like, this is kind of cruel. So then the next one, I made some soapy water and dumped them in it.
I said drowning
I'm gonna
them's more
drown you this
humane.
time. Instead of the quick death, we're gonna drag this out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
The things you learn on the Gunline chat.
Welcome, y'all.
That's it. I can't believe there's still 30 people hanging with us.
We appreciate you, everybody. I didn't know we was almost 2 hours in either.
You've been losing track of time the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, I seen your video on your screen bottom boards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm making another one about migratory tops. I'm gonna try to make it not quite so darn long. I'm not
We can't say nothing.
Well, I mean, anybody.
Y'all too. Y'all had one that was just a few days ago, didn't you? Or maybe it's just shorts I'm seeing.
That's
Just
short. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're trying to, I guess, put something out there until we can get some fresh footage. We got a few little small odd and end things that we kind of put back and ain't put together and put out. Just
DC said, Tim, it's called old age.
yeah.
That makes me feel good. He told me I was just a young and earlier. He's calling you old.
Thank you, DC.
Old snot cub. Everybody picks on him.
I got something for y'all though. Y'all wait and see. She said, no, please don't do it. I can't tell you how many times, especially whenever I told her what my idea was. If y'all could have seen the look of shock and please don't.
Disbelief.
I was like, no, we got to stop here and see if they got what I'm looking for. And no, they didn't have it. So it looks like I'm going to have to order what I'm looking for on the attire. So maybe next week we'll have that portion going on. I think I might get a kick out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Lee.
We going to?
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be too long, y'all. We getting on that 2 hour mark.
4 people in a row that were like, it's getting late. Back to the real world. It's called dismay, Tim. It's a look of dismay.
That's what it was.
That's
Too.
hilarious.
It was like, oh no.
Yeah.
For the
Come
one,
and say hey to your friend Jasper.
I like to cut up and carry on. There's a lot of him that y'all don't see, and like
there's a lot of Tim y'all don't see.
Just like say, just some of the example of our days. Just I'll come up with something off the wall, and oftentimes it'll be big feet, aliens, or a theory of some sorts. that's out there, but I'll take I'll just create my own story. And whenever I'm telling her the story, and I'll oftentimes be like, you believe what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't. And she looking at me
I
doing
don't
that.
believe what you're saying.
So,
DC said I'm not near as funny in person. Me.
oh, I like having a good time, cutting up, carrying on. And if you're one of them ones that, you want to pull a practical joke, all right, my friend. Yeah, we can work on that too.
Hmm. I miss my pawpaw and his practical joke. He was the best practical jokester I've ever known in my life. He didn't care who you were.
Yeah, there was a man when I was growing up. We called him Uncle Paul. He wasn't my uncle, but and the whole community called him Uncle Dub. But I went to the Angola prison rodeo with him, and the Arsenault family was behind us, and we pulled up to the gate, and the guy comes up there and he asks you, you got any drugs, you got any alcohol, you got any firearms, you got this and that, the whole list.
Mhm.
And he goes, no, I don't have any of that. He said, but that fella behind me, he looks awful shifty. You better check him out. So
Oh my gosh.
so we go in there and we go to the restroom, and back then you didn't have the individual urinals. You had that big long trough,
Mm-hmm.
and we're standing there at the trough, and there's a couple of people like him, Paul Walker, Uncle Dub, was at one end, and James Arsenault was at the other, and I was kind of standing between them, and there's a couple of other people we didn't know standing between them. And James Arsenault standing there, and he looks over and he goes, Paul, how long you been out of this place? We were at the prison. And Paul goes, I guess it's been about 6 months. And he goes, I didn't do anything but cut the son of a bitch to pieces. and those men almost peed on himself trying to get out of there. So,
Oh my god.
Let me get away from this one.
That's what happened.
and I'm just losing it. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
You really just said that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my word. I can see my papa pulling one of those.
He was the card. He was the card. I can't tell a lot of his jokes on that.
I appreciate that.
But I mean, like her pawpaw had her grandma, and he departed before her, and God rest her soul. She's been gone 3 or 4 years now. But even until the day Meemaw departed this world, she believed this, and you was not convincing her otherwise. But her granddaddy was in the service, and he was in the Navy, and they was stationed out in California, wherever out there, San Francisco area. But long story short, he told Meemaw that, look, you can't walk no dog across that Golden Gate Bridge because the way that dog's tail wags, it'll make that bridge sway. That's why they don't let it go.
Fall apart. And she believed it.
She sure did.
That's the kind of joking he would do. Like stuff like that. Just make a fool out of it.
Yeah.
But no, like she was terrified of snakes. I mean, literally, she couldn't even look at a hot pink fake snake. She could not do it. She was so scared of them. So one time, he was stationed in California somewhere, and they were living like in Pensacola or something. They were a long way away from each other. Well, he bought a boa constrictor or no, a python. One of those, I think it was a python. He froze it and he mailed it to her in a
Oh,
gift
man.
box. He did. He
Golly.
mailed it to her in a gift box.
Wow.
And I'm like, Papa, you could have killed her.
Joey said he got out of prison in 2019.
I just looked down and saw that.
So what'd you do, Joey? so
He cut that feller to pieces. What do you think, Phil?
so so I don't know if you guys they actually had a little program about the Angola prison rodeo, but
I was,
the
oh,
the funnest thing was the was they had a bull and they took $500, rolled up and like tied it between the bull's horns, and all the prisoners that wanted to could climb down there in the arena and see if they could pull that money off of that bull's horns. And it was a mean one too. They didn't pick a docile one. And you talk about some of the toughest guys in the world. When that bull started coming at them, they turned and run.
Uh-huh. Probably crying for their mama too.
There wasn't many of them tough enough to try to walk up to that bull and grab that money off its head. That was a lot of money if you're in prison.
well, that's brilliant on the prison's part because the old
Okay.
warden think, well, if we can reduce numbers here, stick that 500 on there.
Somebody called Joey out and asked prison guard. That makes sense.
That would make sense.
So
Yeah. DC, you got somebody you need to add?
what prison was it, Joey? It might have been Angola. That's the big one.
I don't know.
It's the same. I think it was at Angola. I was watching a documentary on not long ago.
Yeah, they had a TV show for a while.
That may have been what it was. Here it comes.
He's finna line you out, Philip.
There he is.
Hey,
Joey.
I don't know how anybody could be a prison guard that long and be as good natured as you are.
Seriously.
I wasn't a guard.
Oh, okay.
I was in the maintenance department,
Oh,
maintenance
okay.
director.
That's good.
Oh. I
You
thought
didn't
you were fixing to say, no, I really was an inmate. And I was like, I don't believe you, Joe.
Well, sometimes I felt like an inmate. When I first went to work there, a man told me, he said, one thing you got to remember, this place is full of liars, beggars, and thieves. And I said, really? He said, yep. He said, then you got to deal with the inmates.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I worked at Rayburn. It used to be called, when I first went to work there, it was Washington Correctional Institute. And we changed the name of it probably 15 years ago to Rayburn Correctional, down here close to where I live. But I have been to that Angola. I knew several people there. Matter of fact, Jennifer Brown that just passed away,
Mm-hmm.
her husband used to be a rodeo clown, or bullfighter as they call him, and he used to work that one every year.
Oh,
Oh.
man, those rodeo clowns. Those guys are talented.
They got my respect.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
You
They'll
got
do.
that right.
I'm not going out there on purpose.
Oh, wow, Joey. That Jag Farm that's been coming in. He just said he did 22 years working at the prison.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I tell you what, if you wrote a book, if anybody he knows, or half the stories you tell that you see and witness there, if you wrote a book on it, people say you making that up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make some of that stuff up.
No.
Yeah.
I can only imagine some of the stories you heard.
Hey.
I don't know if Angola. I think Angola still is a working prison. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know not many of them are, but I think they were pretty much self-sufficient. They did crops and all kind of stuff.
Ours also used to be. It's not that they don't work them quite as much as they used to. They still have trustees that work off the grounds for different parts of the community and everything. But used to Monday through Friday. Hey, like the one out there. Monday through Friday work call was at like 7 o'clock, rain or shine.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Jake said he was at Faulkner.
What state is that? What state are you from, Jigs? Or is it
Where's he?
J3GS? We're calling him Jigs.
Yeah, everybody else I've heard calls him Jegs.
I'm trying to think. There's a brother in church that his blood brother. He works at the one up there in Leaksville, but I can't think of the name of that place. But that man been up there for 50 something years, probably. He's done retired, but he still goes and mainly does, I think, like uh Bible services and things like that now to help with the prisoners besides being in the maintenance end, kind of like you was, Joey. But I can't think of the name of that old prison up there.
I can't
Well,
read your name.
when I tell people that I worked in the maintenance department, a lot of times they don't understand. They think that I was maintenance like at a Walmart or some kind of industry or something. But I don't know how other states do it. I know a few states that come down and helped us during Katrina. They didn't have to really deal with inmates like we do. But
Mhm.
our the facility I ran, I had when I first started, it was like 9 foremen working under me. But when I left, we just had 7. I had one of each trade, a foreman, and he worked a crew of inmates, like a crew of electricians, crew of
Really?
plumbers. Yeah, they actually used a trade uh, on the grounds there,
Mhm.
and
So they probably
so we were pretty much like security with a trade, basically.
Mhm.
so did I mean were they hardened criminals or were they
It was called a medium. Let me explain a little bit. It was called a medium custody prison, but we had um, minimum custody, which is trustees. We had medium custody that it couldn't leave the fence, and we had maximum custody that stayed locked up.
right?
Mhm.
It's still called a medium custody facility.
Because I would not want to give some of them guys some of the tools you have to work with.
Oh,
You just look away from that. You know, you can do a lot of damage with a
well,
ball peen hammer.
you know, a video that Randy McCaffrey did several years ago when Jeff Hartshoff was showing that tool he uses on the to lift the boxes up and hold them up while you dividing the
Yeah,
frame.
Mhm.
they got little steps
Yeah,
on it. Yeah,
Randy calls it
a
a
shank.
prison shank. I told him,
Shank.
I looked at it and I said, that ain't no prison shank. He said, why is that? I said, it's way too big.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can't
Can't
hide.
conceal that, baby.
yeah, got to put it in your hand.
Yeah, that's something that always kind of boggled my mind because I was over tool control. I was over every tool in that facility, thousands of tools. We had the inventory. Um, the person working with them had to inventory them daily, and then you had to turn in a monthly inventory, hard paper, and then we did what we called a quarterly inventory. But anything called a restricted tool had to have red paint on it.
Mhm.
Uh, any screwdriver that the shaft was longer than 6 inches was considered a restricted screwdriver.
Mhm.
a 4-inch shaft wasn't restricted, but that would be the most logical shank for an inmate to have.
That's what I was just thinking. Wouldn't they go for the
Yeah.
smaller one first anyway?
And I asked him when I first went to work there, I said, why is not every screwdriver restriction? You
Yeah.
know, that's just somebody with some authority somewhere said that's the way it's going to be.
Right.
That's a good
What's
story. Mike, he said, Mike said he got out of jail last week. He always wanted to get naked and swim in all my money. You know, they will
Yeah.
arrest you to try to swim in $8.72.
Another, another thing that I was going to tell you, the reason I call it security with the trade, maintenance department shook our own inmates down. And anytime they worked off the grounds and come back in, when we went through the Saturday port, maintenance department had to strip search all their inmates.
Really? Wow.
Now, we didn't any other facilities in the country other than Louisiana, and some of Louisiana ones, they didn't have to do that, but maintenance did.
I would have told him. I was like, "Why are you punishing me? I didn't do anything."
I'm not criminal.
But that was a daily routine, shaking inmates down.
That's what I always told my wife when the kids was in trouble and she was wanting me to deal with it. I was like, "Why am I in trouble?"
Why am I in trouble? Oh man.
I didn't do nothing. I shouldn't be punished.
Now, just to keep this conversation beekeeping related, I keep bees on the prison ground.
I was going to ask
Do
man,
you?
if they had colonies out there for anything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, Chad. I never would have thought about keeping bees out there.
Yeah. Because we plant gardens and everything. I say they plant gardens, all kind of vegetables out there.
So did the inmates do it with you, or was it just you?
You talking about the gardens?
The beekeeping.
That's just me.
Okay.
I did have a couple that would help me, help me build some boxes and stuff every now and then.
Well, there's a real question floating around in the comments about a beekeeper ID. I have one.
I don't know what that's for.
Texas, it used to be required that if you had more than 6 colonies, you were supposed to register. And I've got a number. I can't remember what it is. It's a 6-digit number. And I'm supposed to put it on all my colonies, but I hadn't been doing it.
And we have to register ours, and we get a number every year. But we just get a number per yard.
Yeah, you have to.
We get a number on them?
We don't get a number. We have to have a
brand name.
Yeah, that's what our number. You can either have your number or you can do your like name and phone number in lieu of the number. But it's supposed to be either branded or permanently affixed in some way. Like they would accept that. You know how people use those stencils and spray them? They'd accept that too.
Like me, I have 5 yards, and they send me. It's the same number, but they send me 5 little stickers that I have to put on a pole or a building.
Oh, okay.
He was saying, does he have to keep the number private?
I don't see why you would. It's nothing. They only thing they can do is trace that back to you.
Yeah.
And that's the intent, is that if the bee inspector, somebody's reporting some colony somewhere, because they don't even, unless they request it, you don't have to disclose the exact location of your colonies in Texas. You have to tell them what county they're in, and that's as far as you have to go.
I think we had to give it like an actual physical address for our apiary.
You know, maybe I had to do that. I might have had to do that.
we can do the address or the GPS coordinates.
Yeah.
I might have had to give a street address on mine. But
That's what we did.
they did say in there that if they needed to see your colonies, you had to give them a little map and show them where they were.
Yeah.
But they kind of were surprised that I was going to register. I'd only had like 10 colonies. I was like, well, it says 6. And she's like, she was trying to kind of talk me out of it. But now I think they just passed a rule where you don't have to register at all in Texas. I think it's a voluntary registration program now. It's not required.
Oh, okay.
We used to have to buy an interstate or interstate license every year to move bees from county to county. But I think they dropped that, and they still have the one where if you're going to move them state to state, you do have to get a special license to move them from state to state. And I think you got to pay those licenses in every state you go through. I'm not sure.
We got to be it's like if you got 1 to 9 colonies, what was it, like $8 for the year?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Then it goes up 10 to 20. The amount goes up higher and higher, I guess, every 10 increments on registering. But
I think our registration was free, but the permit to move the bees cost $10 or $15.
Oh, okay.
The one that's really weird, and I don't know if other states have it, is cutouts.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say you're supposed to have a pest control license to do cutouts. And then other people say, no, you don't have to. But then I think if you do cutouts that are in a different county from yours, they're saying that you are supposed to have one, I think. But I don't know that anybody follows that.
Don't
That's
let
a new one on me.
about that. Louisiana hear about it. They want that money.
Yeah.
It's all about the money.
Yes,
Everything comes down to money.
Yep, revenue.
Yep. I just get amazed at all these people I hear about getting pulled over for driving 10 miles over the speed limit, and then the officer chooses to reduce it down to a seatbelt just to get the money and don't have to deal with court.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's just one of my pet peeves right there. I'm just venting.
Yeah, here you have to take defensive driving to get it reduced to a non-moving violation, which costs about half as much as a ticket, and it keeps it off your insurance. So
yeah,
but they know what they're doing.
Like I say, it's just another form of them get that revenue in there one way or another.
Yeah.
Inconvenience to folks.
I got pulled over down in a little town south of where I grew up, and I grew up there. I knew where the cop would be sitting. I was just checked out for a minute. As soon as I came by him, it's like shit. And then they pulled. I had out of state tags, so they used their 2 brand new SUV cop cars they just got. They were brand new. I said, ain't no way I'm getting out of this. I got to pay for those vehicles.
You got a car note to meet that night.
So I got the ticket, and I called them and asked them, what did I say? I asked them if they take checks. They said, yeah, we'll take whatever. And I mailed it in to them. It was out of state. And I knew it wasn't ever going to go on my record because I don't even know that they recorded it, to be honest with you. And it had on you had to sign the admission of guilt on the back. And I have a guy that comes in and does my books once a month. And I said, yeah, write a check to these people for $265 or whatever it was. And he brought he brought the ticket in there. He said, "You didn't sign the back of it." I said, "I'm not signing it. I'm not admitting guilt." I said, "Stick the ticket in." I said, "Stick the ticket in there with the check, and if they cash the check, that means they accepted it."
There you go.
I stuck it in there blank, and
Mm.
they
You're
cashed
not
the check.
using this against me.
They cashed the check. I didn't
They
admit
didn't care
I
about
didn't,
that ticket. They just wanted that money.
no, that's yeah. It never showed up anywhere. Yeah, it's like
Kind of going.
their computer don't even hook up to the state or any kind of registry. I'm sure that's just revenue.
Kind of going back to where we was a minute ago on registering and all that. Now we found out, well, through the exterminating, it's a nationwide company that the fellow we run into, but just happened to be with the Mobile area. But found out that Alabama, within the last, I can't remember how many years he said, but has made it to where honeybees are protected in the state. Are they the same way in Texas and Louisiana?
Not that I know of.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think you can spray them or do whatever you want to them.
I've always heard that it's illegal to kill them, but
Yeah, I hadn't heard that.
I don't think
But
that's
even
correct.
DC said when we were talking about, Chris was talking about his neighbor earlier. He said that it's illegal to kill them like that in his state, up in Washington too.
Washington State.
Mm.
At least we know they're starting to create protections for them now,
Hmm.
and not make it to where you can just spray them down with people going to do it anyway. Don't get me wrong, but that little added protection for them, I reckon.
He said he was trying to watch William's video, dry cut honey he put out, but he kept wondering if his hair frizzes in a thunderstorm. He was distracted.
You talking about Williams there?
Yeah.
That's what DC was saying.
Williams got the power mullet, man. He's got it going on.
Yeah.
Man, he blew me away with that hive dolly he built. That was pretty cool.
DC was talking about he made a display hive to view the bees' reaction to OA treatment.
That's something different to see.
That's what I told him. I'm gonna check that one out.
Especially for y'all ones that do them treatments quite often, give you an idea of reaction or if it's getting in there good.
Well, it's not time. It's almost 9:30.
Is it? Okay.
Jasper's gotta go out. He's hitting me.
I get the hint. She's calling time, gentlemen. Calling time.
Look, we gotta be big kids tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it's Monday again.
A darn adult thing comes back.
I know. It just sucks some days.
Well, good to hear Joey got his freedom after 20 plus years in prison.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Joey, you shocked me for a half a second with that. I was like, there's no way.
He still goes back.
No way.
I didn't even think he could be a guard that long without suffering. It sounds like he kind of was.
You have to be a little bit crazy just to fit in one.
Yeah. But boys, I'm on this side of the fence. So we doing something right.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Go ahead, Phil, before I wrap it up.
My brother used to say there's only two kind of people in this world. Those that get caught and those that don't.
Yep.
Yeah. Was he speaking from experience there, Phil?
I think some girl in the high school had turned out pregnant, and that was his summation of don't judge. There's
Yeah.
only two kind of people in this world.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Showing some wisdom at 16, 17 years old.
Yeah. DC said my brother always got caught. Yeah. The younger siblings learn well from the older ones' mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he said I was smart enough to not get caught.
I was always guilty before I even did it because I was the fifth child, so
Ah,
I was
yeah,
accused of everything before I even, found out it was fun to do those things. But I caught up. I was a slow learner, but I caught up.
yeah. You survived, huh?
Well, my mother was I hear I'm dragging the program out. My mother was the mail carrier in the town. Well, it's a town where Lee's wife grew up in Newellton, and she'd tell me what I did the night before I even remembered I did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was eyes and ears all over town.
Mhm.
I did something
Uh-huh.
stupid, and they'd tell her, and she'd tell me, and you'd get, I was like, and
Yeah.
I deny it for a little while, and I go, oh yeah, okay, I wasn't in the best condition when I was doing that.
Well, no. You needed to get away from that zip code, Philip, is what you
Right.
needed to do.
It sounded like it.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Yeah, a lot of times all that news would beat you home.
exactly. It would.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, especially in a small town, because like there was plenty of people that knew my entire family that I had never laid eyes on before.
Yep, that's the way
So
it was up
yeah,
there. I thought I was up there, you know, I
thought
thought I
you
was
was home free, huh?
I thought I was out of town Philip up there, but no.
Me,
No, no, no.
I had my daddy had got it was a old 56 Chevrolet. It was beat up, but he got it for me to drive around after I got my license. And me and my buddy was drag racing. And
Look at
it
the
couldn't
smile
be
on his face.
it couldn't be dangerous because that car would probably do about 55, 60 miles an hour wide open. And when I got back to the house, it's this how stupid we were when we was young. Where we was drag racing was right in front of a police officer's house.
Oh,
Oh my
And
God.
he just happened to be home.
Mm. But that didn't go over real well.
I didn't get to drive the car for a couple of weeks after that.
Yeah.
He looked down there and seen that old 57 headed down the road, and he's like, well,
I
I'll let
don't
him
even
get.
need to chase that one. I know where
Yeah.
he's going.
I'll wait till he runs out of gas and go get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the way it was back in them days. They'd call your parents instead of get you in trouble and take you to jail and all that kind of stuff.
Well, hey, going home to mom and daddy in them belts was worse than going to jail sometimes.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Next time I get on here when we got time, y'all have to ask me about my wedding night.
Oh, yeah.
Driving fast on my wedding night. I'll tell you that story.
All right.
That's got to be a good one.
We're gonna hold you to that one.
Yeah. And there's some blue lights involved. That's the only thing I'll ask right now.
Well, he didn't have no lights on. That was all I know.
Oh, my gosh.
We sure gonna hold you to that one, Joey.
Absolutely. We're going to hold you to that one. And hey, right before he wraps it up, tell your wife I really appreciate that hashtag that night.
I was gonna say that. I forgot about that.
I figured you did. I looked at Tim. I was like, Joey had to have told her about that. I got a good kick out of that one.
I told her, I said, look at this. I said, the wives are getting involved and they don't even come in on the show.
Oh, the wives are getting involved now. Hannah's loving it.
Hey, she got tickled when I told her the story about it.
Yeah, most women will, I'm sure.
Give her a big hug for us because we got Got a
We
good
got a
kick
really
out of
good
that.
laugh out of that.
But
So,
we're gonna wrap it up, for she kicks
I'm
me
gonna
off.
pass out. My coffee's wearing off, y'all. I'm sorry.
All
We
right, y'all have a good night. Good
Yeah.
night,
appreciate
everybody. on the
everybody.
chat.
Take
See
care,
y'all.
Phil, Joey.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming in, and thank everybody in the chat, all the members and the stickers tonight.
Yeah.
We really appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all. Thank y'all. God bless you, Lord willing. We'll see y'all on the next one.
That's it.
Y'all
Y'all have
take
a
care.
good week.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night.